If by any chance whatsoever Buhari completes this horrible regime of a government, every Nigerian living in Nigeria must be given certificate of survivor. Now, you need to watch this video to the end to understand how deep nepotism runs through the vein of the man called Buhari. Yeah, hello wonderful people, viewers and subscribers all over the world. Let us still go back to that interview granted by Buhari to Arise TV crew, when he was asked when he will include other parts of Nigeria, especially the south, in his administration, especially with the issue of security formation. Remember what he said? Watch.
Well, still on the Southeast, Mr. President, how do you plan to include more people from the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, to include more people in the Southeast, and indeed the South in general, in your government, especially in security services and MDAs?
You look at, say, NNPC, look at the military. People who have been there for 18 years, or people who have been there, say, for 10 years, they trained in Zaria or in Abeokuta. You know, they come through the ranks, and because they served under all the circumstances, the crisis and everything, and they gradually rise to that status. And you think you just pick somebody just to balance up? These positions have to be earned. Those positions have to be earned. There are people who have been there for 10, 15 years. And you just because somebody will say, well, there's nobody. If you don't join, you are not forced to join. But when you join, you go through the rigmarole. You go through the problem throughout, and you learn by the system.
Yeah, but Your Excellency, in the case of the Chief of Army Staff, there are almost 30 generals who have to be retired now or whatever because of demand, because of the rank of the current Chief of Staff.
Do you know why he was serving before he becomes the Chief of Army Staff? Maiduguri. You can't get to pick just somebody just because he is wearing seniority and make him. You put somebody who has been in the mill, who has suffered with the soldiers, they know him, he fought with them, and so on. To tell you the truth, on individual basis, all these chaps, they know me. Because I want to do it, but I don't know them, I have forgotten them. Some of them, I don't know them.
So operational experience was a factor?
It is, because the soldiers, to be effectively led, must be somebody they know they are alone to him. He exposed himself to him.
If you leave the security services, I believe one of the things we're talking about is signaling and of belonging. Beyond security, Southeast, they want to be secretary to government. They want to be other things. Like you said, you've chosen 2 or 3 of them, like Okadibo as VP. So you've said you don't have anything against them. So why don't you, as father of all, bring them more together? Make them feel belonging, make them feel like your children.
Huh? You better get a list of our civil servants. If you think there are no people from the Southeast. There are people from the Southeast, but they know they have to go through the mill.
Good. He made it clear that those he brings on board his security architecture are those who are most qualified. And these most qualified people are only his own people, his Fulani people. Wonderful. Now let us dissect this thing. He said that his people from far north, Sokoto them, Kepi, Yola, and the rest of them are the most qualified in Nigeria. Now let us go down to the background. Recently, the Ministry of Education published what they call admission criteria set out by federal government for unity schools and the national cutoff marks for 2020 and 2021 admission section, and has been pegged at 142. 3 students got the highest score. Umo Onyago Chenua from Anambra scored 199. Onwo Amanam Udochukwu from Enugu scored 198. Salam Mariam Adere Miliku, sorry if I don't pronounce it well, from Lagos scored 197 respectively. Now, the unity school cutoff mark as stipulated by federal government under federal character principle. Now listen to this. Abia State 130, Adamawa 62, Akwa Ibom 123, Anambra 139, Bauchi 35, Bayelsa 72, Benue 111, Borno 45, Cross River 97, Delta 131, Ebonyi 112, Edo 127, Ekiti 119, Enugu 134, Gombe 58, Imo 138, Jigawa 44, Kaduna 91, Kano 67, Katsina 60, Kebbi. For males, if you are a male in Kebbi State, you only need 9, and for females, you must have 20 as your cutoff mark. Jesus. All right, Kogi 119, Kwara 128, Lagos 133, Nasarawa 58, Niger State 93, Ogun 131, Ondo 126, Osun 127, Oyo 127 as well, Plateau 97, Rivers 118, Sokoto 9 if you are male and 13 if you are female. Taraba 3 if you are male and if you are female 11. Yobe 2 if you are a male and if you are female 27. Zamfara 4 and 2 if you are a female. FCT 90. From all that you have just listened to and heard, none of the northern states had the cutoff mark above 100. Not even one, including Federal Capital Territory. And at the end of the day, these people that got 1, 2, will have admission before your own kids that had 100 and 125, 150. The ones that do not, the one 2 for Yobe State. If you're a male, it's as good as they didn't even take any exam. And the same people will have admission before you, while your counterpart, their counterparts from the south, will be struggling to have above 100 in order to get admission. And finally, when they have graduated in their various endeavors and the rest of them, the same people that had only 2 are your Chief Justice of the Federation, are your minister for this and minister for that, are your service chiefs, are the ones Buhari considered most qualified. You see how this country had become a crime against humanity. And the irreducible minimum is to balkanize this God-forsaken system. How did we get to this point? Have you wondered how come during the Shagari Ekwueme regime, Shagari as the president had only school cert, whereas Ekwueme, the vice president, had all the certificates anyone can have, from doctorate to PhD to professor to this to that, bagging every certificate baggable. The same applicable to Buhari, of which up till today, his certificate is still under contention. I mean, the WAEC. Nigerians have been dragging it back and forth, whether or not he has WAEC certificate. Whereas his deputy, Osibanjo, had all the certificates. You see, how did we? How? Come on. You see, whenever I tell you that Nigeria is victimizing Nigerians, Nigerians are victims of Nigeria, you will understand these things. The only way to solve this whole thing and enable people to maximize their potential independently, the irreducible minimum is regional autonomy, where the South will manage their educational system, their judiciary, their security, harness their resources, and advance their potential independently without someone from the North undermining their capacity. That is the irreducible minimum, and that will give my people the ample opportunity to include referendum in their constitution. And from there, we know when you know, some of you may not understand how these things work. My people are too emotional when it comes to the issue of freedom. This is how it begins. My people, drop your comment. Let me have your opinion about this whole thing. I'm signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Follow us on all our social media platforms and stay connected to the voice of the people, the voice of God, the voice of our ancestors. I'm also chilling to Peters. Stay safe. Bye-bye.